终于有机会试试这个。开伞成功，双手解放。扬州是先生的家乡吧？
没错。
很少听先生说起呢。
这里的经历并不愉快。
新词数据就在前面，先生，我们快过去吧。
One's free umbrella technology. Fancy.
沈先生、徐先生，欢迎来金瓷书局。我是书局的督教方寒秋。
方先生好。
通过你的电报，我们获知了佩罗镇事件的原委。感谢二位查明了真相。
吕先生是一名出色的编辑，他的离世实在令人惋惜。
你电报中提到罗世文对罗佩作品的贡献，我们也已于昨日登报说明。
这样也算对吕先生有个交代。
毕城十分看重作者名誉，希望他泉下有知。
吕先生一定会很欣慰的。
雨越下越大，二位先请进，我们屋里说。沈先生这次来是要查一本书，不知书名是什么？
Nice place. Seems a little bit cluttered, though.
我也不知道确切的书名，不过，据罗世文说，罗佩的斗士一阵对此书的情节有所借鉴。
毕城经手过的稿件可以说是汗牛充栋，若要一份份查阅内容，耗费的时间会很长。沈先生还知道其他的信息吗？
这件事，说不定对找书有帮助。半年前，罗佩曾来书局拜访，他应该是在那个时候读到书稿的。
那次是我邀请罗佩来的，也带他去当房参观过，但我不清楚他翻阅过哪些存稿。
这件事，说不定对找书有帮助。
Well, that was a good try, at least.
吕先生离开扬州前，有没有和您提过罗佩借鉴他人情节之事呢？
他只说有些事情要与罗佩当面核实，但并未说细节。
吕先生怎么会完全没提起过呢？
毕城是一个谨慎的人，在没有充分调查之前，他从不随便说话。
这件事，说不定对找书有帮助。
Just going through everything in order.
吕先生生前的最后一段时间，都在忙哪些工作？有没有与存稿有关的？
非要说的话，毕城最近在花大力气重读过往的剧稿。
啊？已经拒绝的稿子为什么要重读呢？
此前书局并不重视侦探小说这一题材，很多的投稿都被拒了。但近年侦探小说日益受读者欢迎，毕城希望能从中发掘出更多才华横溢的作者。
也就是说，有一些优秀的侦探小说被埋没在剧稿中了。
正是如此。毕城认为侦探小说的流行大有裨益，他展示了一种严密的逻辑思维模式，同时也鼓励大家去追求真相。 对于长期受八股文束缚的读者而言，这犹如沙漠中的清泉。
吕先生在做的事，的确很有意义。
先生，吕先生很可能是在整理剧稿时，意识到罗佩书中的点子是抄的，所以他才会去找罗佩谈。
方先生，我们可以看看那些剧稿吗？
剧稿被送回当房了，我带你们去。奇怪了，碧城整理过的那批剧稿明明放在此处啊，怎么不见了呢？
不见了，不见了！
哦，是那只鹦鹉在说话。
Not another parrot.
夸我，夸我！
No.
九儿乖乖，你吃完饭了吗？
We will not cross-examine the parrot. Please.
完了！
Yes, so you are.
沈先生，这位是当房管理员吴秀丽，九儿是她养的鹦鹉。有什么需要帮忙的，尽可找她。秀丽，沈先生和阿福都是侦探，他们来书局调查线索，我们尽力要协助。
侦探，破凶杀案的那种侦探。
正是。
好猎奇，好喜欢！这还是我第一次遇到真的活的侦探。活的，活的。嘿，其实我也是一名侦探小说家，笔名叫阿帕。
哇，好厉害啊！能拜读你写的书吗？
我还在构思中。哎，你别说，就咱们对话的时间，我忽然就有了灵感。侦探来到书局当房，寻找失落的线索，摆在面前的却是成堆的书稿，要从里面找到关键证据，这是前所未有的挑战。
你这不是根本没开始写吗？
吕先生曾整理过一批侦探小说的剧稿，秀丽姑娘可知放在何处？
当房目前还没有侦探小说这个单独的分类，只有话本小说、志怪小说、公案小说、武侠小说、言情小说。那些剧稿原本杂乱地堆放在这张桌子上，不过我花费了整整2天时间，把每一份书稿都有序归档了。
How very diligent.
夸我，夸我！
Unfortunately for us.
大家的脸色好像不太好。
那沈先生想要查阅的话，只能去每个书架上一本一本找了。
完了，完了！
无妨。阿福，我们就从最左侧的书架找起吧。 这摞也发完了，我再去拿一摞。
Anne reads every book in the archive. Hungry for knowledge. And maybe actual food as well.
炒饭、油糕、牛皮糖，先生醒醒，来吃啊！
Afu is also hungry for knowledge.
哎，正好，
Huh. Well, I'm definitely confined to this room, apparently. Somehow. More books. Grey's Anatomy. Huh.
别怕，是哥哥。仲平，你又拿了爹的烟枪。
在哪里？在哪里？在哪里？
别出声，我去应付。
爹，你在找什么？
我钱呢？我钱呢？
家里早就没钱了，东西也被你变卖光了。
谁说没钱了？那个小兔崽子去哪儿了？丽云的孔老板过几天就来接他。只要他听话，跟男人去，那可是不少钱。
你疯了！
养了你们那么多年，也该尽孝了。原来躲在这里，
快跑！
I jump. I can probably jump. And I didn't notice, because I haven't been able to jump before. I can, in fact, jump. I can, in fact, get stuck on things, because it's not jump. It's change lane! Curse you, suddenly new control system. bless you, fixed camera viewpoint.
我可以进来吗，郑平？
Again with the cupboards.
不让我进来的话，我只好变戏法给别人看喽。你先闭上眼睛。可以睁开了。喜欢吗？这是萤石粉，可以在黑暗中发出荧光。郑平啊，你听过小猴子的故事吗？一天晚上，一只小猴子在水塘边玩耍，他看到了水中的月亮，便伸手去触碰，水面泛起了涟漪，月亮在涟漪中消失了。小猴子很震惊，以为自己把月亮打碎了，其实那只是月亮在水中的倒影。月亮消失，是因为它被云遮住了。郑平，那件事自始至终都不是你的错。即使乌云遮蔽了整个天空，你还拥有一片自己的星空。郑平，哥哥最近找到一个方法，说不定能治好你的失语症。我看到一本医学杂志上说，人遭遇过度惊吓时，舌头可能会后缩，导致舌骨脱位，无法说话。若用镊子将舌骨正位，便可恢复。我知道，那些大夫都说你再也不可能说话了，但哥哥不会放弃。可以让我试试吗？仲平，你尽可能张大嘴巴，再慢慢把舌头往外吐。很好。
哥哥，疼！
无意识的痛苦回忆，如果无法释放或治愈，可能会分裂出不同的自我，以避免面对内心矛盾。这是人出于自我保护的本能所构建的心理防御机制之一。
哥哥，你在看什么书？
弗洛伊德的《梦的解析》这本书介绍了心理疾病的发病原理和治疗方法。
心理疾病？
我想了解鸦片成瘾的心理原因，进而探索出治疗之法。
难怪 哥哥最近都在看医学书籍。
如今鸦片泛滥，不仅我们家深受其害，更有千万家庭尚在苦海。
可市面上不是已经有戒烟药了吗？
市面上的戒烟药大多是榆木混出的补药，价格昂贵，却收效甚微。
因此，哥哥想找到真正有效的治疗法。
我在弗洛伊德的一篇文章中了解到一种叫高科的植物。弗洛伊德用他的提取物来治疗抑郁症等疾病。如果这个药能帮助戒烟瘾，那爹的悲剧便不会再重演了。
哥哥，还要等到什么时候啊？钓鱼好无聊。
去，抓狗了。
哥哥，别让鱼儿跑了。
鱼儿抓口时不着急提竿，耐心等一等。大鱼上钩时会有明显的异沉。
是一条桂鱼。
回家，今晚哥哥做清蒸桂鱼。
太好了，有鱼吃喽！
俄国的北部毗邻北极，终年积雪。
每天都是冬天，也太冷了。有没有永远是夏天的地方？
阿非利加州的以南地当赤道，岩褐荒漠。
哥哥，你要去学医的地方在哪里？
在这儿，英国的首都伦敦。
两位公子的才华世间罕见，尤其是沈二公子，年纪轻轻就获得了公派留学资格。今日为二位留影纪念，待二位学成归来，定能大展宏图，大显身手，大有所为。本照相馆也能跟着沾光。放松，不要动喽。
哥哥，究竟是谁害了你？
Well then, that was a sequence. Things look a little bit topsy-turvy in here. And I have all of this evidence again. Though it's in a different order now. Didn't particularly want to interrupt the middle of that sequence to look at Sigmund Freud, but let's do it now. Sigmund Freud, an Austrian psychologist and founder of psychoanalysis, believed that childhood experiences have a significant impact on an individual, even shaping one's personality. This led to his theory of the unconscious, where repressed desires and fears reside hidden from conscious awareness. In the interpretation of dreams, he argued that dreams are not divine revelations, but expressions of the unconscious self. For example, a child who gazes at mountains might dream of climbing them. By analysing dreams, one can trace the origins of psychological issues. Wow. That door is shut.
这是你第几次回到这里了？
我没数过，第1121次。
3年， 几乎每个夜晚你都在这里，但你仍然找不到答案。而随着时间的流逝，你的记忆正在消退。
别妨碍我，我一定会查明哥哥遇害的真相。
那你可得抓紧时间了。
I guess we're doing this now. Pretty much all there is to look at, isn't there, really? Well, I could look at everything again, but I'm not sure how much point there's gonna be.
This is all the case files here. You can take your time reviewing here. I'll go get the paperwork ready for your signature.
Lots to look at in here as well. Let's go right to left. There seem to be fewer things on this right-hand side. The bookshelf. I guess you can call this a bookshelf. Jack the Ripper, the most notorious serial killer in the world. In 1888, he murdered multiple women in the Whitechapel area of London using extremely brutal methods. The victims were all strangled and some had their abdomens cut open with some organs removed. During the killing spree, Jack taunted the police and newspapers by sending them letters, causing a great panic in British society at the time. Over a century has passed since the case, but due to a lack of evidence, the identity of the true culprit and the actual motive behind the crimes remain highly debated. St. Mary's Hospital on fire last night. Apparently this is relevant somehow. Westminster. Apparently this is also relevant somehow. Looks like a key to me. Yeah, I think I have a pretty good idea how this ended up stabbed in his chest. It's a Morse code paper reel. Of course it's got Morse code on it. We suddenly have ideas about this as well. What are all those numbers on the end? The 8 point something or others. Apparently not relevant enough to be added into evidence, though. Unfortunate. All of them.
Officer, I am a distinguished graduate of UCL. How could I possibly commit murder?
There's competition between ye and the victim, Brian Shen. Besides, you were the last one to see him, before Brian returned to the apartment.
I did see him, but you can't condemn me as guilty just because I saw him, right?
Whether you're deemed guilty depends on your answers to the following questions. On the day of Brian's death, August 15th, someone claims to have seen you two arguing.
We had no argument. It must be someone trying to smear my name. I can explain that. At 9 a.m. that morning, I was going to the Wandsworth Library to borrow books, passing by Pimlico. I saw Brian coming out of Mr. Bell's office building. I greeted him, but he pretended not to hear. I was angry. I grabbed him to confront and discuss the situation.
Just because you greeted him and he did not respond?
Not exactly. Mr. Bell's research project should be mine. He stole it away. He not only shamelessly took my project, but also deliberately ignored me. Wasn't that infuriating?
So you got into an argument with him over that?
I didn't. He seemed absent-minded, not responding as if he couldn't hear what I was saying. Later, someone looked our way, so I let him go. There was no argument at all.
It's like a very one-sided argument to me.
Whether you're deemed guilty depends on your answers to the following questions.
Also, the fact he couldn't hear properly seems relevant.
Where were you between 1 and 3 in the afternoon that day? And what were you doing?
I spent the entire afternoon studying at the library, then returned to the lab in the evening.
Is there someone who can vouch for your whereabouts?
The librarian named George can testify for me.
Whether you're deemed guilty depends on your answers to the following questions. You ken of others who might bear a grudge against Brian?
I wouldn't know. I'm usually focused on my academic pursuits and don't mind others' business.
Mr. Chang, please cooperate with our work.
I really don't know. Only one time I overheard him having a heated argument with Stone Wu.
What's the relationship between Stone Wu and Brian Shen? Do you ken why they had an argument?
They are friends. Stone often borrowed money from Brian. Their argument might be related to money, but I'm not so sure about specifics. But I heard Stone recently made a fortune. Moreover, he hurriedly returned to China the day before Brian's incident. Definitely fishy.
We'll verify. Whether you're deemed guilty depends on your answers to the following questions.
There are no more following questions. Next.
Mr. Bell, sorry for the trouble.
Nice hat.
After all, Brian was a researcher in the project I funded and a friend of Joseph's. I will do everything I can to bring the truth to light.
Heard this funding project is about opium cessation drugs?
Opium cessation medication is one of Watson Pharmacy's core businesses. We have always placed a strong emphasis on research and development in this area. In fact, the person we initially funded wasn't Brian, but his classmate, Toby Chang. Unfortunately, Toby had lofty ambitions, but little progress after 6 months. Joseph introduced me to Brian. He was facing pressure from the Sassoon family due to his research. The Sassoons benefit greatly from the opium trade. They will by no means stand idly by. When I saw his research progress, it only strengthened my determination to support him.
Hold your horses there 1 second. We have some more facts to look at. The Sassoon family is a prominent family of Iraqi Jewish heritage. By August 1833, when the British Parliament abolished the East India Company's monopoly on trade with China, the Sassoon family took this opportunity to import a large quantity of cotton textiles and opium into China. During Lin Zexu's campaign to suppress the opium trade into Yumen, about half the opium seized came from the Sassoon family. Following the signing of the Treaty of Nanking, the Sassoon family established several foreign ties in Shanghai. In the early days of the newly established Sassoon & Co., an average of 5,000 chests of opium flowed into Shanghai each year. That's a lot.
Also, the reason Brian studied pharmacy and aspired to develop better opium cessation medication was because his family was ruined and devastated by opium. I believe he is the most suitable person to carry out this research.
He's definitely motivated.
I will do everything I can to bring the truth to light.
Was definitely motivated.
Someone hear you having an argument with Brian in the office on the morning of August 15th?
At 9 a.m. that morning, I had arranged to meet Brian for coffee to talk his recent conditions.
How's she been faring recently?
The research faced some difficulties, and Brian was feeling quite down about it. I encouraged him to hold on, but he suddenly became very agitated, so we ended the conversation. It wasn't like his usual self. I intended to talk to him some day later, but...
How long has he been in this condition?
In fact, during that period, his condition was quite worrisome. He became very pessimistic. In hindsight, I should have kept him a bit longer. I deeply regret that now. I will do everything I can to bring the truth to light.
Where were ye between 1 and 3 in the afternoon on that day?
There was a pharmaceutical industry seminar that afternoon. I was invited to deliver a speech.
Understood. Your alibi is solid. For now, that's all.
Officer, may I add a few more details?
Aye, of course. Please go ahead.
Brian's research on opium cessation medication touched upon the interests of certain groups. I don't want this case to be overly influenced by external factors affecting police judgment. I also trust that the details of the case be kept confidential.
Aye.
I will do everything I can to bring the truth to light.
Sure. That's all we have for that. And third...
You police, let bad guys go. Bother this old lady instead.
Mrs. Chang, I brought you in for questioning because on that day you were...
Only one at scene? Suspect me as murderer just like that? Which fool would murder in their own home?
Mrs. Chang, if you...
Ridiculous! Dare you stop brewing my medicine, curing illness, extending life?
I'll try to keep it brief. Where were ye between 1 and 3 in the afternoon on that day?
You ask where I was? It was Hungry Ghost Festival. Taboo to go out that day. Soak up sun, dispel bad energy. Been sitting in front of house sunning myself. You foreigners understand or not? On that day, Ghost Gate opens. Avoid going out.
I'll try to keep it brief. During that time, did anyone else enter?
Of course not. No one comes in without my permission. No one's getting in any day. Besides you police, who else likes barging into others' homes?
Thieves?
Did anyone else think you might have...
Yes! 2 guys tracking Brian. They've been staring in my house.
Aye, we've spoken to folk across the road, and nobody's laid eyes on the pair you mentioned. James and Mary from the cafe next door said the same. Are you?
I'm sure I didn't see wrong.
I'll try to keep it brief.
And a brief it was. Well, that's all of those. There's a link to the hospital.
Master Shen, this here is Sergeant Gaunt, in charge of investigating your brother's case.
Family of the deceased. The investigation into this case is done and dusted. Sign here.
Sergeant Gaunt, I can't sign it yet.
What you say?
My brother won't kill himself.
You questioning the police, are you?
No. I just feel that.
Mr. Shen, we hold your brother's case in the highest regard. Very seriously. Suicide is the conclusion reached after meticulous investigation and careful consideration. Whether it's Joseph or the more experienced Sergeant Gaunt, both are on board with this conclusion.
Ain't you here to collect the remains? No signature, no go with the rest of the bleeding paperwork.
哥哥绝不会自杀。可是，如果我签署了这份文件，就意这个案子尘埃落定了。我不能就这样轻易签字。哥哥，你到底经历了什么？这种感觉，似乎什么地方不对劲。
Mr. Shen, are you feeling unwell?
A voice tells me that there is an inconsistency between a certain item I saw earlier and the documents in my hands.
Oh, really? Well, there isn't too much to look at here, apart from a B. And that's about it. Therefore, it's gotta be this.
Officers, I noticed that the letter B is marked on each folder. Is this the police station's code or identifier?
Aye, that's our station code. We're mainly responsible for security in Kensington.
The map indicates that the house where the murder occurred is located in the city of Westminster. On the map, Westminster is labeled with the code A.
You questioning if we ain't got the authority?
I'm just raising a reasonable doubt.
I've mentioned to you before, we received the initial distress telegram. That day, I showed Joseph the distress telegram. We knew the address, so we went together.
The person who sent the telegram is crucial. He is likely a key witness. We should continue.
The scene's a locked room, and the only fingerprints on the murder weapon are your brother's. Just these two bits alone are enough to peg it as a suicide. Unless you can cough up some proper evidence, go on and get out of my sight.
哥哥，什么是侦探呀？
侦探也像旅行家一样四处冒险，但他们总能发现别人注意不到的细节。
说不定有什么细节被我忽略掉了。
If you claim my brother stabbed himself, this piece of evidence seems peculiar.
I'm going with this. I'm going with this. If he stabbed himself with a knife, why are the fingerprints only on the very end of the handle and not all over the handle?
Officers, something still puzzles me. The fingerprints found on the dagger belong to my brother's left index and thumb, and the fingerprints are located at the end of the knife handle. It seems that he wasn't gripping the dagger, but rather holding it between two fingers. In this position, how could he have stabbed himself in the chest with the dagger?
Clearly that ain't the way he held the dagger when he offed himself.
But if he held the dagger in a different way, there should have been more fingerprints left.
Not necessarily.
We speculate your brother held the dagger through his shirt sleeves. No fingerprints were left.
If he intended to kill himself, why would he avoid leaving fingerprints on the dagger?
That doesn't matter.
You!
Mr. Shintune, get upset. We're not trying to make things difficult for you deliberately. The detail you're questioning, even if it's in doubt, it didn't change the conclusion. It was a locked room. Door, windows, skylight, all locked from inside. The only key was in your brother's hand. There is nae a second person who could have committed the act in such a situation.
Are there truly no other possibilities?
有没有可能，凶手提前复制了一把钥匙呢？
沈先生，我跟你说过，握在你哥哥手中的是房间唯一的钥匙。
复制一把钥匙并不是多复杂的事。
你对你的无知一无所知。显而易见的问题，警方会考虑不到。
郑夫人家的钥匙采用了一种独特的东方设计。我找了不少锁匠来核实过，没人能做出一模一样的。
当真如此吗？可郑阿姨的家里为何要用那么复杂的钥匙和锁？
原因不重要，重要的是。 这让案发现场成为了一个密室，
应该还有其他的可能性存在。房间唯一的钥匙在哥哥手里，更可能是因为凶手。
What have we got up here? A flowchart.
也许凶手根本就不需要钥匙。
没有钥匙的话，凶手怎么锁门呢？
凶手不需要用钥匙锁门。 因为，也许凶手根本就没有进屋。
案发那天，他整个人气息低落，浑浑噩噩，脚步虚浮。
郑阿姨说，那天中午，我哥哥回屋时脸色不对劲。他会不会在回家前就已经中刀了？
你是说，被害人在无外遇刺后回到家中，为了避免追杀而反锁了门窗，最后死在密闭的房间里？
正是这样。
但郑夫人接受讯问时，完全没提过受害者身上有血迹 或者胸口中刀之类的事情啊。
也许他没注意到。
荒唐！他对被害人的面部表情都观察得那么细致，怎么可能没注意到被害人胸口是不是插着刀？而且被害人衣服上的血迹，并没有呈现出向下流的趋势，说明被害人死前，并不是处于站立状态。小子，破案不是看侦探小说，猜测要基于证据，你还要我强调几遍？
看来，这不是正确的方向。我需要重新思考一下。也许凶手根本就不需要钥匙。
没有钥匙的话，
凶手不需要用钥匙锁门，因为
I'm not sure any of these other things seem remotely sensible, though.
房间唯一的钥匙在哥哥手里，更可也许凶手锁好门后，又用某种方式将钥匙送了回来。
哦，通过哪里送回来？
凶手可以通过天窗送回钥匙。
你是认真的吗？
至少这种可能性存在。
科迪，你来解释。
沈先生，这恐怕是做不到的。天窗是反锁的，上面的玻璃也没坏。
窗框上有火燎的痕迹，说不定凶手用加热的方式打开了玻璃。
What？
玻璃上有积灰，如果被人动过，会留下痕迹。实际并非如此。
看来，这个假设与事实不符。也许凶手锁好。
哦，通过哪里送回来
？None of this seems to make too much sense to me either. Let's just go through everything.
凶手可以通过窗户送回钥匙。
你没去看过现场吗？
沈先生，还记得吗？窗户是从屋内反锁的，那个窗把手很紧，得用很大的力气才能扣上。
容我再想想。也许凶手锁好。
哦，
大概率还是通过门送回钥匙，毕竟门是房间唯一的出入口。
可是，凶手要怎样通过门把钥匙送回被害人手中呢？
If it's this, we're just back to the first problem again. This really makes no sense whatsoever. It ended up in his hand.
凶手或许可以利用屋内的某些物品制作机关。
机关？什么机关能把钥匙准确地送回被害人手中？
首先，凶手要用这件物品将钥匙和哥哥的手连接起来。
I have slightly more idea where we're going with this now. But there are options here.
凶手很可能是利用这卷摩斯码纸盘，将钥匙收入屋内的。
摩斯码纸盘，
纸袋的内侧比较脏，有一些磨损痕迹。我怀疑，这是纸袋在地上拖行所产生的痕迹。
不可行。首先，电报机的朝向就是问题。电报机上的纸盘指向实验桌的方向，而不是指向房门。其次，从空间上看，电报机、被害人和房门并不在一条直线上。这里不仅有角度差，还有高度差。小子，凶手是怎么用纸袋把钥匙送回你哥哥手中的？
仅凭纸袋是不够的，凶手应该还用到了房间中的一些其他物品。究竟哪些物品构成了机关？它们又是怎样运转的？我需要把思路好好整理一下。
What am I doing here, precisely? Well, we have an angle here. I don't know if it matters which slot I put this in. We have another angle here. We have another potential angle here with this hole. And we've also got this thing, potentially doing some winding action. So, the door is over here. The telegraph machine is over here. Our piece of string, as it were. It's a bit of Morse code paper, but whatever. Let's call it a string. It's going from here, through here, round here, round here. Round here. And then over here, I suppose. And then eventually it's reaching this point and it's dragging the wheel off of the mechanism and depositing it down there. So we might want that, and then that, and then that. We might not even be using this at all quite yet. Something along the lines of this.
So that's how it is.
Close enough, apparently.
Officers, I know how the killer returned the key.
Mr. Shenden, please, share your thoughts.
The killer used this Morse code paper strip as a rope to place the key in my brother's hand. He had my brother hold onto the middle, and then swung one end outside the door. Then, inserted the swung end into the key's chain hole and bent it back in reverse. Next, use the candle to change the direction of the strip and keep it down with a low stool. Finally, put the paper reel back on the telegraph machine and activated it. As the machine operated, it pulled the key back into the room through the gap under the door. The key had resistance when passing through the hand, causing the strip to detach. Then, the key stayed in his hand. This is the method the killer used to return the key.
This method sounds feasible and aligns with the saying. Gaunt, this.
Infeasible.
Why not feasible?
That telegraph machine, it only spits out paper, doesn't take any in.
What?
If the killer did retrieve the key using the telegraph machine, there'd be a heap of paper strips scattered on a desk at the crime scene. But it ain't the case.
Aye, right. At the scene, the Morse code paper strip was neatly kept in a paper reel. And that paper reel was found on the floor. Mr. Shen, it's likely you've got it wrong.
I did overlook that detail indeed. The telegraph machine can't retrieve paper, and the reel won't detach itself from the machine. But there are traces on the paper strip and candle, suggesting the transportation of the key. All these suggest that... Officers, I need to revise my viewpoint. The paper strip wasn't retrieved using the telegraph machine, but through another item. The Morse code paper reel is a component of the telegraph machine. We all instinctively assumed that it could only be installed on the telegraph machine. But in reality, what truly aided the killer in this scheme was the phonograph by the desk.
The phonograph? The phonograph can have so many uses.
It sure is good at spinning things. Especially hexagonal things. Oh, but it can.
Officers, please take a look. The phonograph's tone arm continuously shifts to the right during music play. The tone arm pushes the paper reel away and the reel rolled into the position where it was found. So, the killer's artifice of creating a locked room illusion stands completely exposed.
Mr. Shen, that's truly an enlightening deduction.
What's your opinion, Sergeant Gaunt?
Your speculation does have a certain level of plausibility.
Could the police say that?
But speculation is just speculation. Cracking a case comes down to evidence and facts.
We're now gonna need to prove this.
My statements are backed by factual evidence.
Your speculation does seem to explain some of the phenomena at the scene. But there are still fatal contradictions between it and some crucial facts.
What facts?
Time. Between 1:40 and 2:30 that afternoon, the cafe downstairs heard uninterrupted phonograph music. If the killer turned on the phonograph to transport the key back into the room, then before 1:40, he must have locked the door and left the scene. According to autopsy, your brother's time of death is estimated to be between 2 and 3. Of course, it can be narrowed down further to 2 to 2:28. He was dead when the police arrived. You catch what this implies? Even following your speculation, your brother got stabbed after the killer left the room. Well, that blows the foundation of this reasoning out of the water, doesn't it?
Not really.
Is it possible he was attacked before 1:50, with death occurring after 2 o'clock?
You know he died from a weapon piercing the left pulmonary artery, causing sudden cardiac arrest. In other words, he died instantly, right after getting stabbed. The bloodstains at the scene confirm that as well.
Could this situation be due to... Since the door was locked first, then the murder, the killer likely employed a method to delay the time of the murder.
How can that be possible? There are no signs of binding or defense wounds on your brother's body.
Really?
Would he just stand by and watch the killer set up a killing mechanism?
I suspect my brother had lost the ability to move at that time because...
What are we going with here, then?
My brother's autopsy report is the best evidence. Officer Jones mentioned that most contortions are related to paralysis of the back nerves.
Either piece of evidence I was looking at would have worked.
I suspect the killer used anesthetic drugs on my brother.
We've suggested this direction early on, but toxicology results came back all negative.
Perhaps a substance undetectable with current forensic expertise.
Can't confirm or deny that possibility. But before delving into the drug angle, a more pressing question is, if there was no one in the room at the time, how did the weapon pierce the victim's chest? No crossbows or similar devices were found at the scene.
Officer Jones, was the dagger vertical to the ground at that time?
At that time, the body was in a contorted position, the chest almost parallel to the ground. The dagger was thrust vertically into his chest. It can be considered as vertical to the ground.
Vertical to the ground. And the location where my brother was murdered happened to be directly beneath the skylight. This is likely not a coincidence.
Are you suspecting the killer hung the dagger on the skylight? On second thought, the skylight is very high and it's impossible to reach without a ladder. But Mrs. Cheng's house doesn't have a ladder. There were no signs of anything being moved at the crime scene. How was the dagger hung up then? It can't have flown there, can it?
Officer Jones, you reminded me.
I think you're
this
close with
item
that
made
one.
me realize how the killer suspended the dagger.
What do we want to go with here? Did we just go straight for the jugular?
Mr. Shen's suggestion the photograph along with the dagger took off?
He means the lantern in the photo. That idea does have a touch of imagination to it.
But can a lantern truly carry a dagger and take off?
At room temperature, air density is 0.08 of a pound per cubic foot, while hot air in a lantern is 0.06 of a pound per cubic foot. 35 cubic feet volume lantern, excluding its own weight, can lift an object weighing up to 9.17 ounces.
Do you moonlight as a scientist in your off hours, Sergeant?
The dagger weighs 5.64 ounces, requiring only 24 cubic feet of lantern volume to lift it.
Sergeant Gaunt's calculations are precise and admirable.
Never thought Sergeant Gaunt's math skills were so deep and unbelievable.
Just a bit of a private hobby, you know.
He does.
So why wasn't there a lantern found at the crime scene?
Well, we have pieces. We have this. We have this. And we have this.
I got it. The asbestos mesh serves as the base support for the lantern, with a stone wax as the heat source. This partially burned piece of paper should be part of the lampshade. On the lab table, there's a stack of identical large, lightweight sheets of paper.
I didn't ken what method the killer used to completely burn the lampshade like that.
I believe the lampshade must have been brushed with kerosene. When the flame spread, it could burn down the entire sky lantern.
No wonder there were paper ashes on your brother's body.
The position where the lantern hangs from the ceiling was not controllable. How did the killer ensure that the falling dagger would definitely stab the victim? Besides, about the death time delayed, how did he control the timing of the dagger's descent?
There should be another mechanism at the scene, composed of a sky lantern and some other items.
Here we go again. Well, up top we have a nice little alcove for the lantern to settle into. We are gonna need... Ooh. Maybe we use this now. Something a little bit like this, perhaps? Timing. You might have to tell me exactly what you want. 2 places have burn marks from the mechanism's activation. You want that and that? No. Could be a candle burning down, I suppose.
Listen, I get... You've...
There should be another mechanism at the... So that's how it is.
Got there eventually.
The ring at the end of the dagger's handle shows signs of scorching. There are scorch marks on the skylight frame as well. And the location where my brother was murdered happened to be directly beneath the skylight. That's the killer's plan.
Go on then. Let's hear it.
The reason the killer placed my brother right beneath the skylight is because the skylight is concave, feasible to fix the sky lantern to its window frame. Then, he tied the kerosene-soaked cotton thread to a candle. After arranging the key, paper, and phonograph, he could leave the room and lock the door. Before long, the candle burned down to the cotton thread that suspended the dagger. Finally, the dagger fell vertically, piercing my brother's chest. My brother's death is definitely not a suicide. It's murder.
He is one extremely devious killer.
The killer is still at large.
For someone without professional training, you are quite impressive. You do have a natural talent for detective work, indeed. However, this particular dagger tips the scales at a mere 160 grams. Falling from the skylight, could it veritably penetrate your brother's heart? Perhaps it behooves us to undertake an experiment.
I'm awfully sorry, Mr. Shen. We've given it our all, tried every which way, but we just can't mimic the scenario you put forth.
But those mechanisms, why?
I do ken how you're feeling, but I'm fearing we're at a standstill with no breakthroughs in sight.
重大突破！重大突破！先生，找到那份书稿了。
我刚刚睡着了。
是啊，外面天都亮了。
沈先生，趁你睡着，我翻了好多书架，可算是把那本书找到了。
Huzzah!
夸我，夸我！
How did you help?
秀丽，快把书拿给沈先生看吧。
沈先生，罗佩借鉴的应该是这篇小说了。
藻井之上。 作者勾陈居士。如果不是祖父的急性，我恐怕不会再踏入祠堂一步。老屋门环上斑驳的铜锈，一如叔伯们身上阿扎的铜锈。三婶逢人便炫耀儿子留洋带回来的留声机，据说是惯了名伶的唱段，要在仪式上大露一手。大伯死了，被赐死在祭祖仪式上，那可是间密室啊！唯一的钥匙就在大伯身上。现场除了尸体旁的七星灯格外惹眼，就是那会唱歌的机器。大伯是被七星灯借命，亦或是被机器的声音蛊惑？我重新勘察了现场，的确是间密室。留声机也因变调而显得诡异，难道真的是鬼神作祟？凶手是用孔明灯将凶器升到藻井之上的。变调的留声机则让我察觉到了滚轴上的鱼线，密室迎刃而解。但藻井下的悲剧还要像这滚轴一样轮回多少次？封底贴着一张纸，上面写着邵伯镇官厅街东首。
I feel like we're being led somewhere.
先生，怎么样？有什么发现吗？
密室、留声机、孔明灯、北斗七星，这些描述都与哥哥遇害的现场一致。书中的密室没有天窗，但屋顶有个藻井，两者的作用是一样的。摩斯码纸带则被替换成了鱼线。相比罗佩的小说，这份书稿与哥哥的命案现场更加相似，就好像作者亲历过一样。
其他现场的细节也都一样吗？
小说中的案件发生在祠堂，而伦敦的案件发生在书房，两者的布置有诸多差异。不过，这些差异均与案情无关，唯一案情上的区别是死状。
死状？
小说中的受害者是在藻井下长跪祭拜时，被下落的匕首扎死的。凶器插在他的背上，他的尸体也没有出现反曲现象。
这个差异意味着什么呢
？It means there are many dots.
我不知道。
沈先生，我听了你们的讨论，突然有些联想。
愿闻其详。
我记得车尔尼雪夫斯基曾说：“艺术源于生活，高于生活。”嘿，毕竟我本人也是侦探小说作者嘛，明白作者喜欢从现实中获得故事灵感。
Nikolai Chernozevsky, a Russian materialist philosopher and one of the authors of the progressive magazine of the Contemporary, criticized the Tsarist government and actively spread ideas about a peasant revolution. At the age of 27, in his work The Aesthetic Relations of Art to Reality, he proposed materialist reviews such as Beauty is Life and Art Stems from Life, challenging the then dominant idealist aesthetics of Hegel. He revealed the dependent relationship of beauty to life, which had a profound influence on later generations. And we have some knowledge as well that I kind of overlooked earlier. A chiasson, I don't know why I'm trying to pronounce it like it's French, A kind of ceiling structure in traditional Chinese architecture which makes the building ceiling concave upward like a well. The walls are decorated with algae patterns, hence the name Caisson. I'm still trying to pronounce it like it's French. It just looks like a French word. It's generally composed of multi-layer arc of wooden architecture which shrink from bottom to top to form an inverted bucket shape, typically found at the top of architectural structures such as grottos, temples, and palaces.
既然这本书的情节与沈先生追查的案件高度相似，我想，那作者应该是案件的知情人吧？
活的，活的。
那两位可知道勾陈居士是何许人？
这我就不清楚了。
作者只留了笔名，我也不知道他的真实身份。
他还有其他作品吗？
没有了，这是勾陈居士唯一的投稿。
有没有哪位作家的文风与他相似呢？说不定作者还用过其他笔名。
此书虽构思精巧，但文笔生涩。作者更像初出茅庐的生手，而非经常创作小说之人。
那字迹呢？我好像看到过一些书稿字迹与这本书相似。
这是刘当用的誊抄件，字迹是誊抄原的，原稿已经退还给作者了。
当时退稿的地址应该还能找到吧？
时间久远，书局又搬过家，收稿和退稿的记录都找不到了。
书的这个部分。 说不定对找作者有帮助。书的封底贴了一张纸，上面写着“邵伯镇官厅街东首”。
这个看上去确实是碧城姐的字迹。韩秋姐，你知道这个地址吗？
没有，不过你倒提醒我了。碧城说过，自己找到了部分据稿作者的地址，准备走访一下。
先生，我们快去吕先生写的地址看看吧，说不定勾陈居士就住在那里。
好，我们看看去。两位，我可以把这份书稿先借走吗？
当然，还有什么需要我帮忙的，尽管开口。
再见，再见。
邵伯镇官厅街东首，就是这里了。
进去看看。
先生，这里看上去荒废很久了。
This doesn't look like a place where people would live.
勾陈居士会不会早就搬走了
A little bit cobwebby.
看屋内的装饰布局，这不是住宅，而是一座祠堂。
祠堂？ 他总不会住在祠堂里吧？
先调查一下看看。
Really rather empty. Ball and chairs. This does indeed appear to be the building talked about in the book. Wipety wipety wipe wipe wipe.
这里煞气重得很，二位私闯进来，小心会有血光之灾呀！所幸二位也算有缘，遇上我谢半仙。
Demigod，
就由我来帮你们算一算。如何避凶？
你不也是私闯进来的吗？
非也非也，我对这里熟得很，知道化解之法。
我看你是想骗我们算命，让我们付钱吧。
施主，这个讲究的是缘分。掏5个铜板，捧个香火，为此事做个小小的功德便可。
谢老先生，我献2份香火，但你不必给我算命。
不知施主希望我做什么？开光、做法、解梦、看风水。
我想请教几个问题。
好说好说。
谢老先生可认得这宅院的主人？
认得呀，吴家大老爷吴志明吗？我还给他的孙子们算过姻缘。不过，他们几年前举家搬去上海了，这祠堂也就荒废了。
吴家可有善写书之人？
吴家人大多经商，只有吴老爷的3孙子吴松涛肚里有墨水。不过，听说他留洋去了。
果然是他。
巧了，1个月前有位姑娘来过，也问了我同样的问题。
What a coincidence indeed！
半仙，你说的这位姑娘可是圆圆脸、留短发、戴一副黑框眼镜？
正是。原来你们认识啊？
不知那位姑娘还说了什么？
她说，她是什么书局的修撰。吴家公子7年前向书局投稿了一本书，他觉得写得很不错。 是啊，他是这么说的。
原来是这样。
施主，瞧你印堂发黑，命里会有劫数，要不要我传授你渡劫之法？
呸！先生，你是不是又头疼了？我扶你去休息吧。
不急，我们先回一趟书局，我需要确认一些信息。
先生，你真的不再休息一下吗？
思绪纷扰，也睡不着。
算了，拗不过你。话说，祠堂里那个算命先生说7年前，你好像很震惊的样子。
罗佩的斗士遗阵是在哥哥命案后才发表的，因此我一直认为书的作者是命案的知情人。但凿井之伤是7年前写的，远早于命案发生的时间。
也就是说，写出小说的作者反倒不一定与命案有关，而是真正的凶手在作案时模仿了小说中的杀人手法。凶手是读过这本小说的人。
更准确地说，是知道小说内容的人。这本书被拒稿了，并未得到发表。理论上，在命案发生时，知道内容的人只有作者本人，以及当年的编辑和滕超元。当然，也不能排除作者曾私下给其他人看过书稿。
我们刚才回书局一趟，先生已经确认那位编辑和滕超元没出过国。他们也表示没有跟其他人说起过书的内容。
接下来需要确认的，就是作者那边了。
这么说，吴松涛的嫌疑还是很大。
Don't know why he would design a murder scene around a book he had previously written, though.
可偏偏吴松涛在案发前1天就离开伦敦，返回国内了。
可是，案发现场不是发现了延时装置吗？
那套装置最多只能延时10几分钟，不可能达到1天之多。
Plus, he was spotted not that long before.
案发那天早上，不少人都见过哥哥。
那吴松涛的不在场证明一定是伪造的。
其实，从伦敦带回案卷后，我就去上海找过吴松涛。他看上去并无异样，还拿出了传票和离境记录作证。那些资料看上去是真实的。这些年来，我不是没有推演过吴松涛是凶手的可能，但并未找出破绽。
的确，如果吴松涛真的是凶手，他是怎么做到的呢？
无论如何，我们都有必要再去上海一趟，问一问有关这本书的事。
没错，感觉我们离真相越来越近了。
沈仲平和他的助手最近去了扬州，在金瓷书局里找到了一份书稿。书稿？据说是本小说。沈仲平认为，他跟吴松涛有关。他正在来上海的路上，应该是想找吴松涛。知道了。
Still can't read. Still have not learnt.